Um, Winter has decided to come. It's a little bit chilly outside. It's warm inside. We have the beautiful sound of children's voices. We have the smell of pizza. We have each other's company. As you look at your handout, you notice that the month of February is Jewish Disabilities Month. That's going to be our focus tonight. You see a few things on the front related to that. We're going to be focusing on a few different things during our service tonight related to that as we all try and strive, work very hard to be a more and more and more inclusive community. So before we begin our worship, just take a moment, look around you, find somebody that you can say hello to, and wish them Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom.
We begin our worship on pages 120 and 121 with the lighting of the Shabbat candles. So Lynn and David Wells and Adam Mastoon and Andy Klein as Oneg providers tonight, can we all come forward and light our Shabbat candles?
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us.
As their brightness reminds us of the generation of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our day, be among those who kindle light.
To begin our Shabbat worship and to set us all with the intention of thinking about Jewish Disability Month, we're going to watch a short video. This video was prepared by a rabbi who was ordained at the Hebrew College, and a couple of years ago when Adam and I were studying at Queer Talmud Camp in Illinois, we had the honor of studying with her. She was one of our fellow classmates. So please take a look at this as we think about what it is we're focusing on tonight.
In third grade, Maury Povich diagnosed me with Tourette's syndrome. Well, not exactly. My mom was watching an episode of his on the topic, and she put two and two together. I was diagnosed a week later. Let me tell you a little bit about who I am now. I am a Jewish youth professional. I have bachelor's degrees in psychology and youth outreach through the arts, and a master's degree in child advocacy and policy. I'm also a stand-up comedian, probably because I see the world a little bit differently. One where eye level is 4'7", give or take an eighth of an inch.
So there's some technology. That's not what we're intending to show you. It may be charming and wonderful, but that's not our intent. So talk to your friends, say Shabbat Shalom. That's it. That's it.
No, this didn't show up in the videos. It was just
If you go down a little. That's it. I bet it was. So now we've learned that we not only both have to okay it, but we have to coordinate it with each other. Okay. Take two.
I remember it so vividly as though it was yesterday. It was my first semester of rabbinical school, and I was sitting in synagogue one afternoon, listening with rapt attention to a dear friend and colleague give a sermon. And he was talking in his sermon about how many of us who think of ourselves or are often perceived as outsiders in our own communities, Jews of color or Jews with disabilities, to name only two groups, are truly, as he put it, hosts in our tradition, though we are often treated by our institutions and communal spaces as guests. And this really resonated with me very strongly because, as someone who's blind, I have often experienced that feeling of marginalization, a feeling like I was on the outside of a community that I so desperately wanted to be part of, but didn't necessarily know if there was room for me. There's a very famous midrash that is typically cited around the holiday of Shavuot that says that all Jews, past, present, and future, were together at Mount Sinai to receive the revelation of Torah collectively. And simultaneous to that, we have a teaching that says that we each received revelation in a way that we could understand it as individuals. This is where we get the idea of 70 faces of Torah, or put another way, that Torah has infinite interpretations because each of us as an individual understood revelation in our own distinct and unique way. And there's a Hasidic teaching that says that as individuals, we are each on our own path in life. Your path is not my path is not yours. But together, we all create a beautiful, diverse tapestry that is the Jewish people. So if all of our portions, if all of our chelakim are not together, we do not get to reveal Torah in its fullness into the world. We live at a time in which we are privileged to receive so many new chidushim, or so many new interpretations of Torah, that have enriched the conversation immeasurably. And what I find particularly beautiful about that is that so many of those chidushim are coming from the margins, are coming from Jews like myself and so many others who have asked the question, if I believe in a Torah Emet, in a truthful Torah, and a Torah Chayim, a living and a life-giving Torah, but I don't see myself reflected in the text, am I truly a host? Is this a Torah that I too can take hold of? There's a really interesting idea that people with disabilities are somehow a new phenomenon. It's as though before the disability rights movement of the 1960s, or perhaps earlier, depending on who you ask, people with disabilities weren't really here. Except that that's not actually the case, right? People with disabilities have existed as long as human beings have existed because disability is a natural part of the human experience. And people with disabilities are going to continue to exist far into the future. And in every generation, we accumulate and accrue knowledge that not only enriches us as individual people, but enriches the whole. But too often, that knowledge which we gain from our own individual lived experience of disability or what other difference one may have is not welcome or valued as culturally significant or religiously significant. And this is where I think we need to really rethink the paradigms that we use around inclusion. We tend to think of inclusion as a very transactional, top-down kind of model. You get the accommodation you need, and that's all we need to do. The work's done. But what if instead we mind our tradition for stories and individuals who really challenge that and perhaps give us a different pathway forward? One of my favorite places to be as a Jew is a Beit Midrash, or a house of study. And as a rabbinical student, I've spent quite a lot of time in the Beit Midrash. The last 4 years, day in and day out, I'm in the Beit Midrash and I'm learning Torah. And one of the joys of that, right, is being surrounded by the din of learning. I've got, for example, on any given day, I'll be sitting learning and I'll hear one chavruta pair, one study pair exclaim in frustration, I have been working on this sugya, on this passage of text for hours. Am I ever going to learn this? Oh, and why am I working through a language I don't speak anyway? And then on the other side, I've got a chavruta that's saying, finally, I cracked the code. And it's kind of like an orchestra, right? You've got multiple instruments, and you've got multiple people playing different parts. And those parts are simultaneously harmonious, discordant, but also really cacophonous, which makes a really unique sound quality. But I often find myself sitting in a Beit Midrash, thinking to myself, I'm playing an instrument, but I don't hear it back, and that's really strange. And that was the voice or the call of the one who is asking herself, I love this tradition, and I'm studying this tradition, and I'm dedicating my life to this, but I'm not seeing myself reflected. Is there room for me here? And after an incredible amount of study and seeking and exploration, I have come to the conclusion that the answer is a resounding yes. Jews with disabilities, just like many other communities, have to root ourselves, I believe, in our past so that we can think forward into the future, so that we kind of know where we're going and that we feel rooted in our own community. And when I thought about, are there stories of other people with disabilities in this tradition? I found many of them. Not only is our people descended from multiple people with disabilities, for example, Leah had a visual disability, as is indicated in Genesis 28, and where do we learn about the idea of reasonable accommodations? We learn about the idea of reasonable accommodations from the 4th chapter of the book of Exodus, Sefer Shmot, in which God says to a very reluctant Moshe, I get it. You've got a speech impediment, and you really, 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 really don't want to take these people. I get it. I get it. However, I've got a reasonable accommodation for you. Aaron will speak for you. Done and done. And in the Babylonian Talmud, there are so many stories of sages with disabilities of all kinds, though they would not have used necessarily that language to describe themselves, who are actively part of their communities, and because they have deep and abiding relationships within their Batei Midrash, within their houses of study, they are able to make significant change through those reciprocal and mutual relationships that they have, which is a real key ingredient in terms of how we think about inclusion. For example, in Kedushin 31a, we have Rav Yosef, who is a Babylonian Amora, a Babylonian sage, and he's blind. And he keeps all of the commandments, all of the mitzvot. But he realizes he's got a bit of a problem on his hands because the halacha, the tradition, says that if you observe a mitzvah that you are not obligated to observe, you don't receive reward for that. And at that point, blind Jews did not have the same obligation to religious commandments as sighted Jews. So Rav Yosef's like, wait a second, how am I not, wait a minute, the halacha needs to be reversed. Wouldn't it be better if the halacha was reversed and if I was actually obligated? And from here, we learn that blind Jews, generally speaking, have the exact same religious obligation that our sighted counterparts do. And I think, as a nearly ordained rabbi, this is one of the most empowering passages in all of Talmud. Because here we have Rav Yosef, who is in the Beit Midrash, who the Talmud records as having opinions on so many different issues, who has a unique and dynamic personality, and who clearly had so many relationships with his fellow sages, not as the inclusion sage, not as the person they brought in because it was the nice or the kind thing to do, but because he was an integral, indispensable part of that Beit Midrash, because he knew he stood at Sinai with everyone else, and he knew he had a chelek in Torah, like everyone else, and he knew that in order for that to be revealed and made manifest, this was a question he needed to ask. And because he was so situated within his community, the issues of inclusion could be thought about very differently. And on a similar note, we learn in Pesachim 116b, there's a passage about the Seder night. And there was a rabbi who said, blind people aren't obligated to say the Haggadah on Seder night, aren't obligated in Magid, in the telling of the story, which we all know is so central to the holiday of Pesach. But then we find out in the Gemara that Rav Yosef and Rav Sheshet, who was another blind Amora, or sage, both said Magid, both recited the Haggadah on Seder night. And because we know that they acted in that way, blind people now are equally obligated to say the Haggadah on Pesach, because I like to think Rav Sheshet and Rav Yosef, both of whom were steeped in the rabbinic project, realized on some level, I'm just as part of this tradition and I want to pass it down to the next generation as is our mandate on Pesach, and why should I not do so? And the law was changed, or the tradition was changed, not because anybody felt sorry for Rav Yosef or Rav Sheshet, but because they were integral parts of their community. And they had that relationship, and they were not seen as a them, they were seen as part of the us. In Chagigah 5b, there's a beautiful story involving two rabbis who travel to a city. And when they get there, they ask a local, is there a Torah scholar here? The local responds, yeah, there's a Torah scholar here, but he's blind. So one of the rabbis says to the other, you're a really important messenger of the Jewish people. It would be beneath your honor to go visit him. Why don't I go and you stay here? And without missing a beat, the other rabbi says, no, I'm coming with you. And at the end of their visit with this sage, they receive a tremendous bracha. And on their homeward journey, the rabbi who was originally advised to stay behind says to his colleague, had I followed your advice, had I assumed that because this rabbi was blind, that would either detract from his humanity or somehow detract from his learning, or perhaps I would be led to think that the learning was inferior or it was the nice thing to do, I would have missed out on this incredible bracha. I, along with many of my peers in the Jewish community who have disabilities, have experienced an entire spectrum of experiences around disability access in the Jewish community. And the question is often asked when I'm asked about inclusion work, which is one of the things that I do because I am a Jew, because I am so committed to the work of inclusion as a deeply religious act, not in spite of my Judaism, but because I am so grounded and rooted. Why is it that Jews with disabilities aren't in our spaces? But I don't think that's the question we should be asking. What we need to think about is what are the ways in which we are unintentionally othering people even as we are trying to include. And I would say that one of the things that we tend to do quite a bit of when we think about inclusion is we say, we need to include Jews with disabilities in the fabric of Jewish life because we are commanded in the Torah 36 times to welcome the stranger, for we were strangers in the land of Egypt. Except the problem here is that we are not strangers. Weren't we all at Sinai together? I often find myself in synagogue or in a Beit Midrash, and I'll have a Braille Siddur with me, or I'll have a Braille Masechet of Talmud, and somebody will come over to me and ask me about whether or not that's Hebrew, or say, "Wow, that's so cool, you can read that." And though those comments are coming from a well-intended place, and though I am fairly sure that I am the first Hebrew Braille reader that most people have met, they can often feel very othering, because the underlying message, which is heard not only by folks who are blind like myself, but by many other Jews with disabilities, is that there's the one correct way to access information, and then there are these other ways that people access information that are different or other. But if we think again about the fact that we are all hosts in our tradition, and that we all stood at Sinai together to receive Torah, then we come to understand that the way that we access that revelation is different for some of us than it is for others of us, but that all ways of access are as valid as any other way of access. I am part of a community that has been around for about 4 decades at this point. And a couple of years ago, we decided collectively, we realized there are Jews with disabilities in this community. There always have been. But there are some ways in which some access needs that they have aren't being met. What can we do collectively, because we treasure all of our community members, to make the space maximally inclusive? And it became an all-hands-on-deck endeavor. Multi-year, very focused on the relationship building. And there were mistakes that were made along the way. And there are still mistakes made along the way. And all of us are learning, because no one is an expert on disability. We are all the individual experts on our own lives and experiences, which means that when we do this sacred work, we have to enter it with a great deal of anava, a great deal of humility, and deeply committed to helping folks who want to do Jewish as their full selves have that opportunity. So now our community has a section in our program that is about accessibility, and we talk about some of our access features like our ASL interpreters, or the fact that we provide electronic copies of all documents, and any number of things. And those are now so part of the fabric of that community that it's almost unremarkable, because we understand that some of us need other ways of access than others of us do, and together we are a stronger and more cohesive community. When we allow all to bring forward our Torah into the world, I believe we are living the mission that we as Jews are commanded to. We have to think, when we think about inclusion and we think about the ways in which our tradition offers us new paradigms for thinking about inclusion as very much about relationship building and very much about going from the ground up and treating every single person as the unique being that they are, with so many multifaceted interests. We really are presented with an incredibly empowering model. And I think that the more that we root ourselves in that incredibly empowering model, the more we are going to be able to say with confidence and with deep wisdom and truth that we are all the us and there is no them. Thank you.
So as we focus tonight on disabilities and Jewish Disability Month, one of the things that, as David and I were preparing tonight, David said, let's do something really different. Let's show this at the beginning. We might normally put this at the sermon piece a little bit later in the service. But the suggestion was, let's put this right up front so that we can set the intention and get our minds focused in this direction as we go through our worship service. So that's what we're going to do tonight with a few other insertions in the service as well. Just thinking about this as we go through our prayer. We are on page 146. We come together with the Baruch Hu, and I invite those who are able to please rise. Rise in body, rise in spirit. We rise as we come together.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
We continue on page 152 with the Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malechuto Leolam Va'ed.
Let's be seated and join together in the Ve'ahavta on page 154. The Ve'ahavta is all about showing our love for God. As we go through the Ve'ahavta, think about the ways you have of showing your love for God each and every day, and the ways we have of showing our love for each other as well.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha Bechol levavecha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha vehayu hadevarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom halevavecha vishinantam levanecha v'dibarta ba'am B'shivtecha b'vetecha uvlechtecha v'derech uvshochpecha uvekumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha uchtavtam al mezuzot betecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru V'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim le'Elohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim v'hiyot lachem le'Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem.
We are all a box of crayons. While walking in a toy store the day before today, I overheard a crayon box with many things to say.
I don't like red, said yellow, and green said, nor do I, and no one here likes orange, but no one knows quite why.
We are a box of crayons that really doesn't get along, said blue to all the others. Something here is wrong. Well, I bought that box of crayons and took it home with me and laid out all the crayons so all the crayons could see.
They watched me as I colored with red and blue and green, and black and white and orange, and every color in between.
They watched as green became the grass, and blue became the sky. The yellow sun was shining bright on white clouds drifting by.
Colors changing as they touched, becoming something new. They watched me as I colored, they watched till I was through.
And when I'd finally finished, I began to walk away, and as I did, the crayon box had something more to say.
I do like red, said the yellow, and the green said, so do I, and the blue, you are terrific, so high up in the sky.
We are a box of crayons, each one of us is unique, but when we get together, the picture is complete.
On page 158, Micha Mocha says, thank you, God, for delivering us from slavery in Egypt, for giving us freedom as we struggle with what freedom means and what our obligations are to help other people feel free as well. We join together, Micha Mocha.
Yai dai dai da dai da 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 dai. Yai dai dai da dai da 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 dai dai. Yai dai 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 da dai da 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 dai. Yai dai 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 da 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 dai. Michamocha ba'elim Adonai, Michamocha nedar b'kodesh, Nora tehilot osefele, Nora tehilot osefele. Malichutecha ra'u b'anecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam. Ze'elianu ve'amru, Ze'elianu ve'amru, Adonai yimlo le'olam va'ed, Adonai yimlo le'olam va'ed.
At the very top of page 161 and also 160, a few lines of English, a few lines of Hebrew, our prayer for a restful, peaceful night this evening.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be a shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be a shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkivenu leShalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
At the top of page 162, Vishamru, we sing about the joy of Shabbat.
Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לדור את המרינו one more time, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לדור את המרינו.
Is it okay to have fun on Shabbat?
I think so.
At services?
I think so.
Okay. Page 164, we enter Tefillah. We are reminded to pray as if everything depends on God, but to act as if everything depends on us. Again, let's rise either in body or in spirit.
Adonai. Hananana svatai tiftach, Hananana ufiagi tehilatecha, la 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 la, Hananana Adonai. Hananana svatai tiftach, Hananana ufiagi tehilate, la 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 la, Hananana Adonai, oh Adonai, Hananana svatai tiftach, Ananana ufiagi tehilatecha. Page 166. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, ve'Konei Hakol, ve'Zocher Chasdei Avot ve'Imahot, u'Mevi Geula livnei v'neihem, L'ma'an Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magin, Baruch atah Adonai, Magin Avraham, Bezrat Sarah. Page 168. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atah Rav lehoshia, Mashiv haruach u'morid hagashem, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Tzomech noflim berofei cholim, Umater asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Michamocha bal gevurot, Umido melach, Melech memid, Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah le'achayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye hakol. Page 170. Atah kadosh, v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah, Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
Please be seated.
Shabbat Shalom. This is a reading from Mark J. Margolius. A Midrash teaches us, when the Jews left Egypt, almost all of them were disabled. How did that happen to be? They had been working with bricks and clay, climbing to the tops of buildings. a rock might fall and cut off their hands, or some clay might get into their eyes, blinding them. This was the community of Israelites who gathered at the Sinai to receive the Torah. Each of us carries a piece of Torah, an essential piece of the puzzle our people have devoted themselves to assembling. Our task is impossible if we exclude anyone from our sacred communities because of a disability. For this reason, God revealed the Torah to this first generation of Israelites, making no distinctions based on ability, to include every Jew in the covenant symbolized by Torah.
We are at the top of page 177 as we join together in our prayer for gratitude. Think about the little things in your daily life that you're feeling particularly grateful for right now. Small things, things that we can often tend to forget. Focus on those for a moment. Together, God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. The top of page 178, Shalom Rav, our prayer for peace.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav HaYisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav HaYisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol ein ubechol shah bishlomecha. Shalom Rav HaYisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav HaYisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
After a few moments for our own private personal prayer, we'll come back together as one community in prayer near the bottom of page 180.
Ose shalom bimroma. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. Ose shalom bimroma. Yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. Yaseh shalom shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
We find our Misha Berach for healing on page 371, the middle of page 371.
Misheberach avotenu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the one before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen.
As we pause between the verses, I invite anyone who would like to say the names aloud of people you're holding in your hearts who might be in need of healing at this time. Maybe a healing of body, maybe a healing of soul, a healing of spirit. If this is a day when you could use a little healing, be sure and include your name as well. And know that when all these names are said at the same time, the prayers for them join strength in community. Lisa and Sam and Jesse.
Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
We offer our prayers for healing. We also offer our prayers of gratitude for the simchas and the joys and the milestones in our lives. We do that with words of Shehechianu, page 648. And for our Shehechianu moments this month, let's start off with birthdays. Who has a February birthday? One February birthday. Rivka. Rivka and who else? And Rivka, Lisa, come on up. Who else? February? Rivka, how old are you going to be? Two. Lisa, happy birthday. We're going to sing happy birthday. We're going to sing Yom Huledet Sameach. That's okay. Mom will accompany you on your birthday. We really love celebrating birthdays.
So many versions in my head. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach, which means happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday, dear Lisa and Rivka, happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday. And we love that you celebrated your birthday with us. Rivka, if I could carry around my elephant all the time with me, I would, because it looks really comforting. Who else is celebrating something? Who has a joyful something happening in your life right now that you want to share with us? Tom.
I'd like to celebrate that today is Valentine's Day, and much as we decry commercialism and we should tell the people we love them every day, it's good to have a day that reminds us that we should do that.
Thank you for the reminder. Let's tell everybody we love them. It is Valentine's Day, but I like the reminder we do that all the time. Thank you. Who else? Who else is celebrating anything?
My daughter Ariel is turning 7 on Wednesday. We moved here when she was 2, so it's been almost 5 years. Yeah.
Yom Huledet Sameach to Ariel.
And we're going to Great Wolf Lodge for a night. So
all right.
Lots of water. Lots of water.
Lots of water. Lots of water. For all of the joys we express out loud, as well as the joys we hold within, we offer words of gratitude with Shehechianu. Thank you, God, for giving us life, for creating us, for sustaining us over this, however many years we've been sustained, and for bringing us to this very, very sacred moment.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Amen.
As we join together in the Aleinu, look at the front of your handout. Look at all the hands reaching out to one another in love, in understanding, in acceptance. We have a quote there from the Mishnah reminding us that even though each of us comes from the same mold, we are each unique and different, and those differences are to be celebrated. And the Aleinu is all about us taking our responsibility to do our work to make the world a better place. Check out the Hinenu website that you see listed there. It's a great way for us to do our part. The Aleinu is in the middle of page 586. Let's please rise.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. Page 591. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, הוא Ushemo Echad.
Page 598. As a community, we at Temple Habonim mourn the recent loss of life all around the world to acts of senseless gun violence, to acts of terrorism, to acts of natural disaster. As a community, we at Temple Habonim mourn the recent death of Phyllis Hamanoff, mother of Marvin Hamanoff. And we recall a number of yardzites as well. If I say the name of someone you're remembering, I invite you to stand as you hear their name and remain standing until we join you for words of Kaddish. We recall the yahrzeit of Jerome Burstein, father of Alex Burstein. Sylvia Feingold, sister of Al Glexman. Albert Hyman, father of Ruth Oppenheim. Philip Price, father of Lawrence Price. Sonia Resnick, mother of Nancy Shotland. Nathan Schoenfeld, father-in-law of Shula Schoenfeld. Sylvia Rosenblatt, mother of Marilyn Strauss, grandmother of Leslie Katz. Allison Wells, daughter of Lynn and David Wells. Mary Wells, mother of David Wells. And Warren Mastoon, father of Adam Mastoon, father-in-law of Andy Klein. If there's anyone here mourning a recent death I've not mentioned, anyone recalling someone in the first year of mourning, anyone recalling a yahrzeit I did not mention, I invite you to stand and tell us the name of the person you recall, who that person was to you, and then keep standing for the mourner's Kaddish. Anyone? Zecher Tzadik Livracha, the name of each person we recall brings blessing. Let's stand.
Yitgadal v'yitkadash
Shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chirutei, v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayei chon uvyomei chon, uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv ve'imru amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevorach, le'olam u'olmei omaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yit'alal, Shemei b'kudisha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru.
Amen.
Yehei shlama rabba min shemayim, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'imramav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru. Amen. May the one who makes peace in the high places make peace for us, for all the Jewish people, for all people everywhere in the world, as together we say, Amen. Please be seated.
Oseh shalom imromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel.
We'd like to say thank you to Michael Blaine and Ellie Blaine and Karen Blaine and Joe Schechtman for greeting tonight. We'd like to say thank you to the Wells and to Adam for providing tonight's onegs. When you go back to the oneg table, there is a special treat. Pretend it is the hottest day of summer, and you will really enjoy tonight's oneg. At the bottom of your handout, you see a notice about the World Zionist Organization. If you've already voted for the World Zionist Organization, raise your hand. Let's see some hands. Okay, we got a lot more hands that need to go up. You've got until March 11th. Don't wait until March 11th. Do it now. You can type all this in at the bottom of your handout if you want to, or you can open this morning's e-blast and click on it instantly and vote. It takes less than 3 minutes. It is so important to build a stronger pluralism in the state of Israel and make Israel into the place that we really want it to be. Kiddush? Kiddush, long Kiddush is on page, short Kiddush also.
We were going to do the song first. It doesn't matter. Let's do Kiddush first. Okay.
Page 123 at the top of the page.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddishanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho v'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu Zikaron lema'aseh bereshit ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh zecher l'tziat mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta v'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha B'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Amen. L'chaim. Juice.
Mazel tov. Our cover for our challah cover is from our congregation's recent trip to Cuba. One of the communities we visited gave this to us. So we have that, and we join together in Motzi.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom. And
Shabbat Shalom. We have one more closing song for you. On page 657, 657, or just sing along and you'll kind of get the message. This song was written in Hebrew and in Arabic. O Javo Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kulam, Salam Aleinu Ve'al Kol Ha'olam, Salam Salam. Peace will surely come to us, to everyone. Salam for us and the entire world. May it be so. O Javo Shalom Aleinu, O Javo Shalom Aleinu, O Javo Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kulam. O Javo Shalom Aleinu, O Javo Shalom Aleinu, O Javo Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kulam. Salam Aleinu Ve'al Kol Ha'olam. Salam, Salam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, Salam. O Javo Shalom Aleinu, O Javo Shalom Aleinu, O Javo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. O Javo Shalom Aleinu, O Javo Shalom Aleinu, O Javo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.